He ain't gonna watch it.
We'll see. All right, so what's the main idea? A unit rate. Let's underline unit rate because that is the main idea for the day.
Wait, are you recording here?
I am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A unit rate means a rate for one individual item. For example, if you buy 3 pounds of chicken for $8.37, the unit rate would be the cost for 1 pound of chicken. So a unit rate is the rate for one individual item. If you can run 6 miles in 48 minutes, you might want to know how long it takes you to run 1 mile. Each of these examples is a unit rate, the rate for one individual pound or one individual mile. Today we will find unit rates when one or both quantities are fractions. Now, we did unit rate last year. Well, not you. You probably did it where you were. But ladies, we did unit rates last year. The difference between the last year and this year is the unit rates you did last year all had integers, and we're going to work with fractions this year. All right, before we begin, let's review some concepts from last year. A ratio, R-A-T-I-O, is a comparison of two quantities. It looks like a fraction. A rate is a ratio that compares two quantities that have different units. For example, in the examples listed above, you were comparing, like with the chicken, we were comparing dollars to pounds. That's two different ways of measuring things. We were comparing miles to minutes. That's two different types of units. So those were rates. All right, think back to your fraction wrap, which they know and you don't, but it's on a piece of paper for you. Dividing fractions is what? Well, that one's the one that's easy as pie. When you flip, what are we flipping? Okay, never mind. Nobody knows it. I thought they knew it, but nobody knows it. When you flip the second fraction and
Divide.
multiply. Well, dividing fractions is easy as pie when you flip the second fraction and multiply. If we're going to have to multiply, we need that rule. So multiplying fractions is no big problem.
What's the deal?
It's the top times the top
And the bottom times the bottom.
and the bottom times the bottom. All right, let's say it again. Dividing fractions is easy as pie when you flip the second fraction and multiply. Multiplying fractions is no big problem. It's the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom.
Okay.
All right, a unit rate compares the first quantity, the first amount, the first number, that goes on the top of the ratio, to just one unit of the second quantity, or the second amount, or the second number, and that'll go on the bottom of the ratio. And you'll be happy about this right here. I'm putting an asterisk by it. It's pretty easy to find a unit rate. All you do is divide the top number and the bottom number by the bottom number. I'm going to put an asterisk on both sides of that because that tells you how to find a unit rate. From the what? It hurts?
No, it smells bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want some hand sanitizer?
Yes.
find some easy unit rates before we start working with fractional ratios. Number 4, $8.37 for 3 pounds of chicken. Now, guys, you are the ones that are going to have to decide what goes on top and what goes on bottom. But make these sort of like common sense problems. When you're talking about money, don't you say $2 for a single hamburger or $3 for a gallon of gas?
The price goes on the bottom.
Price goes on the top.
Oh.
Right? That's why I said you pay like $2.65 per gallon.
Okay.
Dollar on top, gallons on the bottom. You pay $4.50 per burger. Here we're wondering how much is it per pound of chicken. So we're going to put the unit of money on top, and on the bottom, 3 pounds of chicken. Now up here we put asterisks by the instructions on how you find a unit rate. It's pretty easy to find a unit rate. All you do is divide the top number and the bottom number by what? The bottom number. And what's the bottom number here?
3.
So we're going to divide the top by 3, divide the bottom by 3, pull out your calculator. 8.37 divided by 3 is 279. What's 3 divided by 3?
3 divided by 3, 1.
1. So there's your unit rate right there. This chicken is $2.79 a pound. All right, number 5, 48 minutes to run 6 miles. If you are talking about how fast you can run, don't you want to know how many minutes it takes you to run 1 mile? Minutes per mile?
Yeah.
All right. So minutes will go on top, miles on the bottom. What do we divide by to get a unit rate?
The bottom.
Divide by the bottom, which is 6. 48 divided by 6 is 8 minutes per 1 mile. You're running 8-minute miles. Not in my wildest dreams could I do that.
8 minutes for 1 mile.
I bet all y'all could do that. Not me. All right, it takes 24 minutes to wash 3 dogs. What do you think we ought to put on top, Mia? We're doing number 6. What are we going to put on top? 24 minutes. What goes on the bottom? 3 dogs. Elena, what do I divide by?
3.
Why do I divide by 3? Because that's the bottom number. 8 minutes per 1 dog. That's how quickly I can wash my doggies. 8 minutes per dog.
Mine takes an hour to wash mine.
Oh my goodness. Okay, mine wouldn't get too many baths if it
My
took.
dog's like a mop. So I have a Great Dane and a Golden Doodle, and a Great Dane's black. So we had to get rid of our couch because it had fur all in it, and we kept one section of it, and it covered, literally covered.
I didn't realize Great Danes shed so bad.
Yeah, ours did.
Oh. I didn't realize that.
I
All
got
right.
very short hair. It's terrible. It is.
Well, even short-haired dogs shed though.
Oh, well, I know that.
They
but
just
it's
shed a
probably
bunch of short hair.
sheds. Like literally, when we sweep the floor, you could make another dog with it.
Okay, well.
Probably like 5 actually. I'm sure you have to keep them in the backyard a lot. You guys, or you keep them in the
All right, number 7. Elena, read number 7 for us.
If cleaning recipe calls for 4 gallons of water mixed with 1/3 cup of cleaner, find the unit rate of 1 cup of cleaner.
All right, so 4 gallons of water over 1/3 cup of cleaner. Some of your parents might buy cleaner that they mix up themselves. I try to use healthy products in my home that don't have a lot of strong chemicals in them. So I mix up my own stuff. All right. So some of your parents might do this and they have to mix up their own cleaner. Now, how do I get a unit rate? We put an asterisk by it. What do you do to find a unit rate? Divide by what? Divide by 1/3. Whatever that bottom number is, you divide by it. So I'm going to divide the bottom by 1/3 and divide the top by 1/3. Now, guys, the bottom's easy. Any number divided by itself is 1. Okay? Any number divided by itself is 1. The bottom is easy. But this top, I'm going to come over here and do some work.
I thought it was always itself.
Any number divided by itself is 1. Any number multiplied by 1 is the number. That's the multiplicative identity. But any number divided by itself is 1. All right, so on top here, I've got the number 4, and I'm dividing it by 1/3.
Can you just put it in the calculator?
Nope. Because you might end up with a fraction instead of an integer. Dividing fractions is easy as pie when you do what?
Divide by.
Flip the second fraction
Yeah.
and multiply. So I'm going to put that 4 over 1.
You should make a rap song about that.
Well, I did.
Oh, you
Dividing fractions is easy
No,
as
I mean,
pie when you
actually-
flip the second fraction and multiply. Multiplying fractions is no big problem. It's the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. Adding and subtracting is plain to see when you match the denominators perfectly.
You need to do like a music video on that.
Oh, I'm not that talented. So we flip the second fraction and we multiply, but now we know how to multiply because multiplying fractions is no big problem. It's the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom.
Where did you get the 1 4 under the 4?
Any whole number can be written as a fraction by placing it over a 1.
What if it's not a whole number?
If it's already a fraction, then you already have a top and a bottom.
Oh, I didn't. Whatever.
Okay, so it's the top times the top, that gives me 12, and the bottom times the bottom, that gives me 1. What is 12 over 1? It's just the number 12. So there's my unit rate. You need 12 gallons of water for 1 cup of cleaner. Okay? 12 gallons of water. Those teachers sure are noisy. All right.